What's going on? What's going on? Hey, another episode of Marriage in a Repair Shop. I'm telling you, God is blessing some marriages. I want to tell you something. If your marriage is going through something while you're listening to these videos and while you're actually taking notes and trying to apply, and your marriage seems like it's not getting any better, it seems like it got worse, that's a beautiful thing. The reason why that's a beautiful thing is because the devil is trying to stop you from moving forward in the wisdom and the knowledge that you are now gaining. So don't worry about that. You keep moving, you keep rebuking the devil, you keep plowing forward, and I guarantee you things will begin to change. I'm going to be transparent with you. When I wrote this book, hey man, some things happened in my marriage that I was like, where did this come from? In the process of writing it, I had no problem because I was always kind of in my zone. But now that I'm promoting and pushing the book, Marriage in the Repair Shop, I'm telling you, boy, the devil came in and he tried to wreck shop. But guess what? He couldn't do that because I already had the tools. The product was finished, and God had told me to do it, so I already knew what the enemy's assignment was. Anytime God gives you an assignment, the enemy comes to snatch that assignment away. I'm telling you, y'all better like and subscribe to these videos. This needs to go viral right here, what I'm going to talk about today. But I want to talk about something today. I got my nifty difty hat on today, so it's all about getting to it today. And I just want to talk to you about something out of this book, Marriage in a Repair Shop. I'm telling you, I'm still reading this book. I'm still learning from this book. I'm still gaining information from this book. It's like reading the Bible. Every time you read it, you get something new. You know what I mean? So I want to share something with you today. And we want to talk about this, and we want to win. We want to win in our relationships. We want to win in our marriages. We don't want to bail out on our marriages. So let's talk about something. The first line in my book, this actually took me when I realized that this was actually the first line. Remember, I said I keep reading it, but I get something different every time. The first line in the book says, marriage is a great journey if you have time to invest. Let's talk about that for a minute. Case in point, when you invest, you like to get a return on your investment, right? When you invest, when you put money in your bank account, or you put money in your stock funds, or you put money in your 401k, you don't like to see that thing going backwards. You don't like to see your gains turning into losses, right? So you want to see, when I look into my account, basically you want to see 15%, 20% gain, 30% gain, 40%, 50%. You want to see gains, okay? You want to see gains on your relationship. I'm telling you, y'all, if you like this, please like and subscribe, because we're talking about gains on your relationship. You know, money don't matter if you're in a relationship that's tearing you down. Okay, so here's the thing. We want to make sure in our relationships that we're getting the gains, right? We want to make sure that we're getting the gains, the prosperity, the increase that we're supposed to get. Well, how do I do that, Derek? How do I get the gains? How do I get the prosperity that I'm supposed to get? Well, first of all, you are an investor, okay? And your investment should go into your spouse or your partner. You should invest. A lot of times we get caught up in investing in ourselves. But listen, my wife was talking, we was talking one day, and we was just talking about how we should invest in one another and how that brings gain. But if you're kind of self-centered and you're kind of just focused on yourself and you always want to invest in yourself, well, you don't leave room for your spouse to really invest in you because you're always doing it yourself. So here's the thing. When you invest, you want to invest in the right things, right? So in our relationship, what are some things that we want to invest in? We want to invest in our partner's emotional stability. When you invest in your partner's emotional stability, that will change the road ahead. Because if you have an unstable partner emotionally, what you're doing is basically that's going to lead to consistent negative returns, right? That's going to lead to the negative in front of your investment. So you want to invest in their emotional stability. So things that you can invest in an emotional stability. Hey, how was your day? Things you can invest. You figure out their love language, and then what you do is you try to invest more into that, right? So that's one way. How can you invest into your relationship? You be present. You don't be absent from your relationship. You don't leave your house uncovered. You don't leave your spouse uncovered. Wives, you don't leave your husband uncovered by not allowing him to touch you, to get intimate with you. Husbands, you don't leave your wife uncovered by leaving the house and hanging out with the boys and not being intimate with her. You leave your spouse covered by doing the things that matter, that keeps the bond. Yeah, there has to be something that's going to keep the bond. So what is it? So basically, what'll keep the bond is you want to figure out love keeps the bond, right? Love is the bond. Now, love is not that funny, fuzzy feeling that you get all the time. Love is an in-depth, how can I say it? It's not really a feeling, but it's an in-depth, deep knowing that I love her, I love him, and I will do whatever it takes to keep them. So love is the glue to your relationship. So Derek, how do I invest love into my relationship? Okay, first of all, communication is very important when it comes to that. Some people don't like that word communication, but communication is very important when it comes to that. Communication is the biggest investment you can have in your relationship. If you don't read in investing, they have analysis. I can't think of the technical name for it, but they have sheets where you can go look and see how this investment has performed over time. You know, Morningstar rates it, other places rate it. So you can see how this investment has rated. So basically, you have to read the sheet on your spouse to see how has your investment been doing over time. Because if it hasn't been doing well, then here's the thing. Read the lines, read the fine lines in the communications and begin to peruse those lines and begin to know that those lines are very important to your spouse. Okay, read those lines and begin to develop those lines. And sometimes you may have to take out and sometimes you may have to insert. As I said in the last video, your spouse is not the same as they was 10 or 12 years ago. They change, right? They change. So we know they change. I change. My wife changes. Your spouse changes. If you don't realize they change, you might want to write in the comments, give me a video on how my spouse changes and what I need to do. You might want to write that in the comments, okay? But here's the thing. The communication is the biggest investment in your marriage that you can ever have. If you don't have communication, I'm telling you now, it's going down into the negative. Now, you don't have to do the communication all in one day. You don't have to do it all in one setting because sometimes the communications, they're not as friendly as the word sounds. Communications can turn into some disputes. Communication can turn into some spats. So the thing that you want to do is you want to read that analysis of your investment. Your spouse is your investment and see where am I not making the deposit and where am I making too many withdrawals. Withdrawals, they'll eat you up. They'll tear you down. Withdrawals will beat you up. Anytime you see a overdraft in your account, I know some of y'all don't have to deal with that. You know, y'all millionaires and stuff like that. But you know, when you see a overdraft in your account, it does a sinking in your stomach. It should do a sinking in your stomach. Now, if it don't do a sinking in your stomach, you might want to write in the comments, hey, how can I be a better financial person with my money? Because uh, uh, overdraft should do a sinking in your stomach because you're giving money away. Same thing. You don't want to overdraft your spouse. You don't want to overdraft them. So you want to continue to build. Wives, build your husbands. Husbands, build your wives. Okay? We have a responsibility in that, okay? To build each other, to lift each other up, to keep each other encouraged. We should be prophets, or we should be prophets to our wives to edify, to build up and encourage. We should be prophets to our husbands to edify, build up, and encourage, not withdraw. You guys are on the same team. Two are better than one. The Bible says where two or three can gather in my name, there I will be in the midst. The marriage is two. As long as you keep God as the head of your marriage, he will be in your midst. Marriage is a great thing if you have time to invest. God bless you. Have a great day.